if Scotty's a dot, those two characters are tick damage, right? Scott Calder, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a dot. We'll take a look. Picks
Game
and
2.
bans. Game 2, picks and bans. We'll see which direction the characters come out if we see some more of that tanky stuff, because it's certainly working out for Baskin and the larger picture for SoaR. Bans coming out.
All right, do we see the Sobek ban just because Allegiance doesn't want to get baited again? That's what I'm wondering, right? Like, the Sobek, I mean, it was fine, right? It didn't, like...
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything, like, bad. He found some plugs. He did kind of, like, a basic Sobek job at, you know, an SPL,
but
an
I
SPL
didn't
level
see
game.
the Sobekitude. I didn't see it. I didn't see that lane-changing attitude in that long lane, right? They, you know, SoaR was able to do fine, but we didn't see the repeated, like, the wave freeze, etc.
Did you see the Jigzitude?
I mean, you always do. The boots won. Every single time. Shouts to Jigz. He does stream he does stream occasionally, and his sub icon actually when you sub to him, his sub icon is no, it's Boots One.
Boots One.
It's Boots One. I'm not even kidding. That's totally the Jigz build. Bans are done. We'll take a look at first pick.
SoaR this time banning away the Zeus, and they're gonna lock in Isis. So this one doesn't surprise me. SoaR value Isis as maybe not the strongest character in the game, but the strongest mid laner in the game, especially when you take a look at lanes, right? Obviously, okay, there's a bunch of warriors that are good, but, like, is there one way better than the other, right? There's a bunch of junglers that are good. Is one way better than the other? For SoaR, Isis is just way better than any other mid laner, especially when it comes to early game pressure.
Just like, I mean, in the match before with Adanas, right? Luminosity. Thor is the jungler that stands out for their team. Very specific. There's always a tier list, and then there are team-specific tier lists. And Isis is the queen for SoaR. Team Allegiance going to go head-to-head. Thor, excuse me, and Sobek on Allegiance this time around. Very happy.
I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see kind of the eager strategy where they draft Sobek into a Wheelix. It really just seems that SoaR are controlling this pick and ban phase, and Allegiance are just trying to react to it. That's what it feels like to me.
So, yes and no. I think Allegiance, I want to see them opt for a Wheelish, and if they do...
I mean, they have Thor.
All right, I mean, that's true.
I feel like they're just trying to respond to SoaR, and they're just falling directly into the trap. They lose Apollo, right? They lose Khepri as well. They took the Thor away from Homiefe, and they don't have kind of the Wheelix Sobek energy. Right. They're going to draft a Xbalanque, though, so taking that away from Met, although they already have Apollo.
Osiris banned out by Allegiance. Yeah, don't let Baskin have that one. So the Giannis ban is just in general. Lassiz has never enjoyed playing against Giannis on any iteration of him or his teams. So maybe that's just an Oceans thing, but now you're starting to look at the secondary bans. The Osiris ban, that's all right, Baskin. You can't do that.
That's
don't
Pickler.
Be surprised. Yeah, don't be surprised if you see the Ravana ban as well here from Allegiance.
And with Allegiance having kind of the first pick of the second phase, that means Mattypocket either going to pick his god there, or he can also last pick the god, so he can have a guaranteed counter matchup and just lock away two annoying, I would say, soul laners that you don't want to deal with, Bellona and Osiris.
I 100% believe that game was brought to you by Baskin's Ravana, and I would not allow that to happen again. At all.
Banned away from Incon there. And there actually is a pretty good amount of setup for Allegiance and Peel to keep the Ryzen alive, so that's going to make sense. Now, Allegiance, are they going to go for their mid laner, or are they going to grab Mattypocket, his soul laner, right now, leaving him open to the potential counter pick?
Yes, it will be the Ravana. Excellent job, Team Allegiance. They pick the Ravana on their side. They get rid of the Bellona, which you know, is annoying for that lane, and the Ravana on the side of Allegiance. Sure, Matty will play it. We'll see how he does. More importantly, Baskin won't play it, and that's what you're swinging for there.
Kali.
Uh-oh.
So Isis trying to get SoaR out of the late game, as they have the Khepri and Kali as well. The later this game goes, the more deadly it gets. But Xbalanque on the other side as well, a very late game carry, and it's going to be Vamana as well for SoaR. So a good amount of single target, I would say, coming out from them. Not so much a ton of AoE splash damage.
Yeah, a lot of the splash going to come from Vamana and, honestly, like, Khepri balls, right? Even Isis. Right. Isis is AoE damage, but
it's her alt more than the other ability.
Yeah, like, you can hit multiple people with Spirit Ball and Wind Gust, but you're focusing on one player. So it's perhaps AoE by the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law is certainly single target. Kukulkan will be selected for Incon. You can check that out. 2% pick rate and 50% win rate. It's been about a coin flip.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, once again, like, you remember when I said how you got to protect the Zeus? how are you going to protect the Kukulkan
Sure.
against a Kali?
I mean, you've got Lassiz, you've got Mac. I think Sobek is a lot better than Ares when it comes to peel. Lassiz on Thor, obviously.
Purification and destruction, and then he walks him down.
Yes, totally there.
Like, I think, obviously, there's going to be Lassiz with the wall. That's the only thing that's guaranteed to peel.
Isis, ult, or nah, Team Allegiance have a better objective secure on their side.
Yes.
You have Kukulkan, which is basically a hog. And then Lassiz from the sky is always scary, right? Anytime there's a Thor just rotating out in orbit, you can't really safely go for the gold.
And a lot of that, too, is Oceans with his ultimate. Makes it very hard to kind of see the health bar on the Gold Fury there. Also very good against Khepri and Kali as well, right? Kali, obviously, maybe she's going to be close, but she'll chase someone in the jungle, maybe get a little bit lost. But then Khepri, right? If he can't see his teammates, it's that much harder to kind of hit that ultimate timing perfectly.
At the end of the day, I'm a lot happier with Team Allegiance's composition this time around. I think last time it left a lot to be desired, and you pointed out just vulnerabilities all over the place. Whenever you're asking your Wheelish to be the primary peeler, it's kind of in an awkward situation. Here, even though there's a Kali versus a Kukulkan, which is a little bit scary, there's still a lot more potential for the peel on the side of ALG. So I'm a lot happier in general about the composition for Allegiance. Now, let's take a look at SoaR on the other side. They're really about that late game.
They have the Kali, right? They have the Vamana as well for a lot of frontline zoning duties, but it's really the Khepri Kali, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like the old Kali Afro, where it's just a bread and butter composition. The Kali goes very deep, has the ability to reset, and if she actually can't confirm the kill, Khepri just goes, well, you're coming back to me.
Exactly.
You're not dead.
Allowed to be over-aggressive. Hyper-aggressive is good, over-aggressive is bad, but when you have a Kali, over-aggressive is good. or rather, a Khepri, over-aggressive is good. It just fits in the way. So, SoaR, they're going to look for this mid-lane dominance out of Isis to really bring them to that mid-game, although Kukulkan can clear very, very well. And then, when it comes late game, it's all about Homiefe. Where on the other side for Team Allegiance, Lassiz is going to have to carry a lot of that mid-game and then hand it off to Oceans come late.
Thor not wanting to give up his harpies for free here. He is actually going to get stunned out, and I think Lassiz was able to secure the big one. Incon's rotated in. He's going to slow Homiefe, but the Whirlwind's off the mark. And Lassiz just taking a lot of poke damage. Not really needed there.
Not necessarily needed, but I personally like that decision. Kali is not an early game fighter. She's just not, especially before her boots come online, even more so before items, obviously. So if she's going to invade, despite the Isis, take that fight. Force them to work for it. And like you said, able to pick up at least one, that works out.
Left side, though, pushed going the way of Allegiance here. Oceans and Mackie have Khepri and Apollo pushed under their tower. And Baskin and Mattypocket just going to be swinging away like always. It's the Soul Lane way. A lot of poke damage, not too many kills unless someone really messes up, right? Like, the only kills we really see in Soul Lane now are Tears, I would say.
Yeah, Tears able to really exert a lot of force. And here we have Khepri. Jigz going to pull MrMakey out of position and a good root, so some follow-up damage. 25% on that Sobek right now.
He's fine, though. He's got potions. And he's also gone the multi-potion as well, which means wasn't too concerned about spending mana. And you can see with the full mana bar, he's fine.
Yeah, and that's something that you can do with Sobek. Once you hit level 5, you're getting your mana back with the ultimate, so you do have a little bit more wiggle room. Jigz actually going multi-pot as well, so it's maybe less about Sobek's specific abilities to get mana back and more just about being a little bit more conservative in lane. If both of these characters really that Sobekatu jokes aside, the situation that Sobek creates in that dual lane where you can't really step out of position, Khepri does the same thing. So if you notice that, well, neither of us are going to be offensive, right? We'll just hang out.
It's possible. Allegiance, or excuse me, SoaR, kind of, so far this game's been working out for them. The Kali has been able to farm, not take too much poke, steal away back harpies. Right-hand side, though, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a contest. It's a 2v2. Thor has the upper hand there.
And Matty certainly in some trouble here, and that's Ravana, right? We saw Mattypocket do well against Ravana early game. Ravana's just not an early game god. Vamana, on the other hand, can certainly hold his own. Ravana going to be forced to ult over the wall, and we'll see the old 3v3 matchup in the mid lane.
And I'm not exactly sure who got those mid camps. I think it was Allegiance, considering they're hitting 6 first. So getting the better of SoaR there. And it looks like they're going to concede these left side harpies as well as Lassiz went over the blue buff. Yeah, he's actually rotates back to the mid.
far too late. The rotation from the Hunter Metyankey was able to just...
Wait, did Baskin steal the blue? Oh, Baskin stole the blue.
Yes.
I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah, he pokes out Ravana, and then he's able to pick up the blue on the other side. But 4-man split on those Harpies, bringing over Metyankey just in case Allegiance decide to get cute.
Neither team wants to make a mistake against these compositions, right? Obviously, Kali going to be able to pop Destruction as well as having Jigz on that Khepri, the revive potential. And honestly, sort of want to all in, considering even with the revives and kind of like the I'm not going to die abilities, it's still Incon, it's still Spirit of the Nine Winds on, you know, Kukulkan, and it's like, you could just get one shot, even at this level, even though Incon doesn't have any items, right? All he has to do is hit one ability, and that's like half your life at level 6.
Especially if he hits 5 bases beforehand with that soul with that soul stone. It makes Kukulkan just such a threat. And like I said, I mean, you take a look at what SoaR was able to do early game last time around. A lot of it came off of early game objectives, right? You're just not doing that with Kukulkan. You're just not. That giant dragon's gonna come out of nowhere and take you down. So I like the Kukulkan pick, man. I really have. I think it's very specific, but it brings a certain level of threat to those early Gold Furies. And you know, shouts to Shadow Nightmare last season bringing it out.
The only one.
Yeah, the only one to play him last season, and he brought it out for that reason, seemingly. And I think that Incon is doing a very similar situation.
Allegiance have very good objective contest, right? Yep. We already talked about it, but just bringing it back up again. Not only the Spirit of the Nine Winds ultimate, which is one of the hardest hitting abilities in the game, but also Lassiz on this Thor are going to be able to come crashing down. And when you do Gold Fury, you are almost always guaranteed to be grouped up outside of like your solo laner who's zoning. Oceans as well, Darkest the Nights makes it very hard for SoaR to kind of see what's going on or see where Allegiance is coming from if they try and contest.
We've seen multiple multi-kills off of that Thor on the Gold Fury, just this season alone.
My favorite one was last season was Ananser's Quadra, right? He drops down, stuns 5, steals the Gold Fury, and gets a Quadra. It was absurd.
And I mean, a lot of it was just like slam, spin, you're dead.
Yeah, he did it like it wasn't like it wasn't like the most mechanically intensive skill I've seen, but still.
But it's great to see. Sometimes there's just the stars align and you're able to do that sort of thing. And look at this fight between Makey and Jigz right here. Both of them are looking for a pluck. Jigz will actually be the first one to find it. Makey in some trouble, and he flips away the damage dealer. But the ultimate out of Kukulkan. Not going to do much to Baskin, as Baskin's able to find first blood against the mid laner.
It wasn't even that. It's just, how are you going to protect Incon?
Yep.
And now he's chasing down Mattypocket. Mattypocket has ult, so he'll be fine, but still poked out. And he's going to be forced back to base. Has teleport, so he's not too worried about that. But Kukulkan, right? He just dies. Even worse than Zeus, I feel, right? Zeus can, like, I don't know, get a lot of guaranteed damage off, right? Incon still has to hit his ult, right? That ability can be juked, unlike Zeus ult, where it's just like, this area, lots of damage for 5 seconds.
And, you know, when those mages get dove, I mean, what is their course of action? It's, let me drop my ult on my feet. That's what Incon did, and it didn't do anything.
To be fair, it's Baskin right now who had 4 levels on him.
Right. That's, you know what, and you're totally right on that one. And we did see some good quality peel out of Makey. The pluck on the Homiefe was really well done. I would have liked the Lassiz peel, on the other hand. The wall just wasn't as perfect as it needed to be. I think in subsequent encounters, we might see some better execution out of the Thor, and that in turn will help Kukulkan.
Red buff going to be secured for Hurriwind, though. Once again, going into his defensive build. A little bit different this time. Last time he went into the penetration boots, immediately into the breastplate of Valor. This time, going Dynasty Plate Helm. So a little bit less worried, I would say, about getting dove, or at the very least not valuing the boots this time around, the early boots, that early movement speed.
But still not comfortable enough to go full Doom Orb. This is the in-betweener, right? You get your, I'm really afraid, let me buy a breastplate. And then you get the, I'm going to make you afraid, I'm going to buy a Doom Orb. And then you get the, yeah, let's play it.
Let's play it safe, guys.
It's the Goldilocks build,
here we go. This is what we need to see out of Allegiance. They're going to be starting this up. Incon, his ultimate's available. SoaR, they're not going to give it up for free. Spirit of the Nine Winds secures it. Makey should be dead, though. The question is, can anyone else survive?
Mattypocket not going to make the rotation, still over in solo, but Metyankey's able to pick up Incon. Makey will die, and Ooh, Khepri ult used, so that's good.
It.
Lassiz looking for a follow-up, and there's the kill onto Homiefe. Lassiz puts his team on the board, 3-1, plus a Gold Fury. Teams almost even. SoaR still with a slight lead, and Ocean's not going to get away. Stunned and dunned, 4-1. And Metyankey with the kill.
3 for 1, I believe, in trades, or was that a 2 for 1 in the end?
I mean, that wound up being a 3. Incon, Oceans, and Mackie.
Oh, that timing from Lassiz there. Gets stunned as his hammer's flying over the wall, able to purify in time to make sure, because if he waited a second later, that hammer comes back into the wall of the geometry, and he can't hammer over, as good as dead. But Allegiance, they're going to stem the bleeding there. Only down 1,000 gold now. And
that's what they have to do. You know, you get a hammer, you can't look for a screw. You got to look for the nail. The tool that Team Allegiance have right now is the Kukulkan for these early Gold Furies, for these uncontestable Gold Furies. And they have to use that tool they have to use their composition to their strengths. We need to see a lot more of these early game Gold Furies, maybe even some invades off of it. But you're going to get killed by SoaR. They've proven that they're going to smoke you in these team fights. Utilize what you've got and go for the objectives.
I mean, the problem here is the fact that last game, it actually went, the 3v3 goes in Allegiance's favor because they have the Apollo. This time, SoaR have the Apollo, right? And Baskin has even more of a lead than he did in game 1. So when he starts rotating, he's going to be even more relevant than last time. He's level 14. Mattypocket, now he just hit 12, but a second ago he was 11, which means roughly about a 2.5 level lead on him directly. And then Incon still level 10. Baskin has a 4-level lead on him.
Thor's going to go to the sky. Baskin, half HP, would force him the ultimate, and there's the downfall onto Jigz. Half HP for the bug. And Jigz able to find a way out. Mackie on the backside looking for some sort of way to cut off the opposition, but Homiefe able to just jump into mid lane. Nobody really caring about that one. So as we cross our 10-minute mark, Fire Giant spawns, and Team Allegiance down by about 1,600.
And even though Allegiance got that Gold Fury, you can already see SoaR back up to the lead they have off just repeatedly invading. And the later this game goes, the more Kali gets online. A lot of this is going to be based around Oceans, right? We've seen him perform well. We haven't seen him solo carry a game yet. And I will say that, right? Allegiance as a team has played very well. Oceans has been, I would say, definitely a surprise, like a diamond in the rough. They found him. He could compete with the best of them in North America. However, we haven't seen a game where it's like, Oceans just carried Allegiance.
And you know what? I'm going to go on the other side of that, KK. I don't know if that's needed. I just don't know if that's needed. I mean, if you're able to do your part of the game, like on the Xbalanque, he's got to carry late game. But if he's able to just tread water while his team does this early and mid game, which down 1,500 is doing that, sure, you'd like a lead, but you're not losing, right? As long as Oceans can pick it up late game on the Xbalanque, isn't that enough?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said. He needs to be the guy come late game, because right now they're down 1,500. And he's on Xbalanque. There's going to be a Kali and Khepri as well as an Apollo that are just going to be very hard to deal with if you're Allegiance, and really hard to deal with if you get picked off.
Mackie gonna get out of there, actually. Not quite. The dot from Jigz, but Homiefe gets hit with a dot of a different flavor. Homiefe will use the ultimate. And there's Khepri ultimate as well. Up goes Lassiz, likely going to look for Homiefe, while the rest of SoaR look for Incon. And Lassiz does confirm it. So 2 kills in total on Allegiance. Both of them brought to you by Lassiz. Boxing match. Metyankey looking for a couple of basics. Can't find him. Dodging and weaving is Oceans. Can't find the last one. There's the hit out of the ability. Metyankey over Oceans. Way deep. Might pay for it thanks to Lassiz. Mezzes out to Zerkers. And there's a hit. One more. No double tap. And the dash through is enough to bring Lassiz low. Metyankey looking for the kill. So Beautiful won't reach. And now Mackie.
Oh, sniped out. Hurriwind finds it. Metyankey stays alive as well as Mackie rotated in, trying to finish him off.
Well played.
Hurriwind
just chucking it out there.
Lassiz kind of looked it in the face too. He's like, man, I should probably move. And then he died.
Well played by Hurriwind. Not just, sure, the Spirit Ball was great, but the ability to get in position and toss that Spirit Ball. He knows his Hunter's in trouble. He's coming up there, going to assist, and the fact that he was able to get that kill out to Lassiz, very big deal.
I mean, that was a really good job. Start to finish, right? Metyankey comes crashing in. He finds Incon in the back line because, once again, Lassiz trying to finish off Homiefe, who is very low. You know, that was a guaranteed trade out for him, as long as Homiefe doesn't make some crazy play and Lassiz doesn't mess up. So he finishes off Incon, who is Kukulkan, right? He's going to die, right? That's the point of him. He just dies when he doesn't have a team to protect him.
I don't think that's the point of him.
No, it is the point of him. He just dies.
Right,
and then he turns his attention to Oceans, times it really well, gets the mez, finds the autos, gets a crit. Oceans then juking out as best as he can, but still, Metyankey not getting discouraged, still finishes him off, and then just kites Lassiz around and allows Hurriwind to come and peel for him.
Even, honestly, almost got the kill himself. Metyankey, very, very stoic in his gameplay. Gold's Fury already 50%, and with the Isis ultimate, that should all
is here.
Yep, there it is. SoaR able to pick it up. Lassiz in the air a little bit too late.
He can't land.
No, he's not going to look for it. He will. He lands on Hurriwind. Purification immediately. And now Jigz looking for the pluck. Gets it on Lassiz. But the knockup, very good for Makey, directly into the tornado.
Did get Purification, however. That's the big one.
Yep.
And Baskin, level 18, rotating around here. 3-level lead on Mattypocket.
Level 18.
And like a 7-level lead on Makey right now. And Incon, like, what are you going to do? Metyankey going deep. It's Incon caught alone. One more hit, and he's going to find it. I just think SoaR just flat out outdrafted Allegiance, front to back here.
What would you have rather seen over the Kukulkan? Poseidon, maybe?
Anything that can peel for himself. And Agni. I would have liked to see an Agni. Very good against Isis. Obviously, the early game's a little bit rough, especially considering it is an Isis on the other hand.
SoaR's going to take this left-hand tower. Broad spectrum picture. Where is Agni?
I have no idea.
Where is Agni?
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that people are scared to risk that really weak wave clear early on, right? Because no one wants to dash, because if a jungler comes in at the right time, they're as good as dead. Fight breaking out, though, in the meantime. Metyankey has no fear right now, just so far ahead of the rest of the team. Going to throw out some damage to Makey, who's forced to back off. It's going to be stolen boars as well.
Just chunking down onto the support. Double tap not going to be found. Just a single one out of Lassiz.
Look
hey,
at,
can we hover over the build out of Apollo, actually?
Yeah, you just saw it too, right?
Yeah, you
I was like, ooh.
Yep, we've got the Masamune. So this has been, Ataraxia was actually the first one to really talk about this. And this is so much less about the paragraph on the bottom and just, hey, it's really cheap, and I get 50 power, which is a huge amount, and 10% movement speed.
And then I'll do probably a little bit extra. It's like, okay, branching bolas at max rank do 50 bonus damage.
Yep.
At the max efficiency, it's doing 50 bonus damage. It's basically branching bolas without the arc, right? You're just doing bonus damage on your auto attacks. Like, the item it's just so cheap and efficient for what it is.
2,200 gold, and you're able to pick up 50 power. Think about the other items that give you 50 power real quick. Deathbringer. All right, that's like 28, 3,000, right? You're way up there. 2,200 gold, that's very cheap. That's like Doom Orb territory, right? 200 more?
It's a little bit different, though, magical to physical conversion.
Right. But my point, and it's 150 magical, 50 physical, right? I mean, those are comparable. And my point is, it's just so efficient early game power, which allows this pickup to happen. So, the Transcendence not opted for, instead the Masamune for the power bank.
And Metyankey swinging out those towers. He's going to rotate over to the mid lane for now. 4-0-2 right now on this Apollo. And Baskin surging forward, just looking for poke. It's going to be Mattypocket on the side, but he's caught up by himself. He will be plucked and actually taking a fair bit of damage. A 3-man root, though. SoaR, they might use that to engage, but no, instead, continuing to play it safe. They're going to siege. Metyankey's in the sky. I don't think he's going to pull a Zatman, though.
He's looking at the whole situation. Going to land in the jungle, and we'll see Metyankey play Assassin on the backside. 18 on the Apollo, 4-0-2. Expect that 4 to go way up. Metyankey biding his time. There's the ultimate at Xbalanque. That's a pause, and Adanas is going to use that to push go. Incon drops the ult. It whiffs! No one gets hit! And Homiefe is able to take Incon out with 0 damage done. 11 kills in total for SoaR, and they're still going on. Mattypocket getting stomped down by the baby, and the last hit onto Mattypocket will come. Not just yet, as Homiefe turns to Oceans, and the long-range Spirit Ball is going to miss as well.
He wants him.
Mattypocket.
Matty could turn this. No, Homie know all, and Homie knows it too. You see him backstep there. He knows Mattypocket just has 2 abilities he needs to kind of turn around and hit him with. And the nice damage immunity coming out from Mattypocket, but I don't see him surviving this. Baskin finishes him off as he tries to get to the Phoenix. That's a 4-for-0 trade in favor of SoaR. They're going to get the tower as well, and there's the 5th, although it is a little bit delayed.
Tower comes down. That's going to be 1,500 gold, and 18 minutes in, we have a 10K gold lead. That is Not a good thing if you're a Team Allegiance fan.
I mean, I'm just really like, was the Kukulkan, was it last picked?
Yes.
I mean, obviously you have the Thor, but you picked it into
Kali,
Vamana, Apollo, and then they also have Jigz, to where even if you get the turnaround kill, they're going to get revived. Like this is not a good pick into a comp that's designed to dive mages with no movement speed. Like that isn't their entire composition.
It's very true. I like the Kukulkan for a lot of different reasons, but as this game has developed, I think that you got to look at the safety
not against
of the
this
character.
comp.
Yeah.
I think he can work. It's just not against this comp.
And
who can just get to your backline and just kill you, and there's nothing you can do to help it.
And I had a lot of faith coming into this about the Lassiz-Mackie combination being enough to peel, but it doesn't seem to be. Mattypocket's not able to be that frontline annoyance that Baskin was last time around.
You want to know the worst part about this is it's not even the Kali that's diving him. It's Metyankey and Baskin who have been diving him. And so the Kali, once she gets online, that's just going to be another person who can just eliminate him. And right now, he's got Book of Thoth. That was his first item. Right, he finished it, I think, before 10 minutes. Still not max stacked, although it's not that big of a deal. But that's just showing how hard it's been for Incon to farm.
Dash forced out by Oceans, and he's going to be met by Homiefe. Wonderful combination of Metyankey and the jungler to combine for the kill. Jigz just in the vicinity. I got to say, Jigz has been absolutely lights out for me this game. Surrender vote has started. 20 minutes might be it here, folks. 13,000 gold down. I honestly expect this F6 to go on through, to be completely honest.
This is a frustrating game if you're Allegiance, especially after you take a split with Luminosity. It was very good. It was definitely a phenomenal performance coming out from them. But then you run into SoaR, and game one, it's like, okay, we were okay early, then we just lost late game, and this has just been front to back a one-sided affair in this match. Like, we haven't seen Allegiance been able to get anything going.
Even in the game that ALG dropped to Luminosity, they still Team Allegiance still put up a fight. We still saw that. That was still going in. I don't think Allegiance has ever once had the upper hand against SoaR in this two-game set.
No, there was the one time when they won that 3-for-0 in mid and got the gold 3. It was like 2K lead.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was like a 5-minute instance, and then ever since then, it's just been all SoaR. It's been all Baskin.
Honestly, what happened there? They had a nice lead.
I forgot they threw.
And Team Allegiance,
it was the mid fight.
Yeah,
the mid fight. It was Baskin started rotating, and he was just he was more efficient than Mattypocket. He had about a level lead. He had about an item lead as well with like 2,000 gold. And then he was just able to kind of distract Allegiance's backline, whereas Mattypocket wasn't able to kind of survive in the same happenstance.
More gold Furies. I wanted to see that out of Allegiance. Like I said, you've got this Kukulkan. You've got to use it right now. Not using that Sobek. Instead, just abusing it. Homiefe, 16 in total. And for him, 4 of them belong to his name.
I mean, no towers. SoaR can just brawl at this point. They can just fight. Like, look at this. This is a 2v1. Lassiz is going to try and peel. But Metyankey, he's not even worried about diving, right? He's just going to let his team go. There comes Kali.
Sanctuary
What are you going to do? You tickled Basket.
Yep. And Incon's going to take the spill as well. 2 dead on the side of Allegiance.
This is just getting out drafted.
That 3.
Front to back, the Kukulkan pick was probably the worst mage you can pick into this comp, and Allegiance did it in their last position.
Fire Giant now, the target. Window has been opened with a couple of players down on the side of Allegiance. Mattypocket can come over, but nobody will sniff anything out. Fire Giant going for free here. The way of SoaR.
And Isis finishes that one off, and now SoaR, 5 members strong. Homiefe on the right-hand side. Can we take a look at Golden Hands, see if they want to back or if they're just going to surge down? So no one really with an item to finish here outside of Kali, who can finish off Oboe. Or Ickfile, depending.
SoaR will back either way. So we'll take a look at that. And here we see just Hurriwind and Baskin doing what they can in the enemy jungle. Can I tell you, that skin that Baskin's using, that is my absolute favorite tier 2 skin.
This one?
This crazy mask Vamana. I don't know. Insane Mask of Vamana is what I'm going to call it.
I don't think I haven't played this one yet.
It's really scary when you come in. I think it's the nicest tier 2 we've got.
Honestly,
look at that crazy mask.
Honestly,
it looks like something out of Zelda.
Have you seen what is it? The one where he has the machete or whatever. What does he have?
Oh yeah, he's got the
cowboy
like
hat. That one is scary.
That's not a cowboy hat. That's a Napoleon hat. There's probably a proper term for it that
I don't know what you know what I meant though.
Exactly
I didn't know what it was. I know it wasn't a cowboy hat, but it's kind of like the same
So you just go around any object you don't know, you just call it a cowboy hat. You go to the zoo. Hey, look at the monkey and the
cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat.
Yeah, man.
I can totally picture.
But you know what I mean every single time. You're like, oh yeah, the cowboy hat.
The cowboy hat, yeah, and you know, if we come back to the game and take a look at it, it's certainly not a cowboy hat. If you want to ask why this SoaR lead is so large, it's all Baskin. There's an obvious answer. All Baskin is probably pushing it. But
Game 1 was Baskin.
Yeah, but
Game 2 is just outdraft and just
in general, the team.
SoaR just executing everything like they need to do.
Yeah, and you know, a little bit of 060 action on the side of Team Allegiance as well. And you know, is that all about Incon specifically? Not necessarily. Like I said, I think that Incon's 6 death column, great ult, gonna hit Jigz for like 10 damage, comes because of Lassiz and Makey haven't been able to pull off the peel that they needed to execute this mid lane.
It's not easy to peel against this comp though. Like,
not at all.
SoaR have 3 dive gods against the easiest to dive mage in the game, and now Baskin, no fear. He's just going to go Titan versus Titan. It's Big Baby and SoaR finishing this one off. Allegiance, they're going to fall here. SoaR going to take this one 2-0.
At 8.
Decidingly.
Oh, my pen. At 18 minutes, we saw 10,000 gold lead for SoaR. 8 minutes later, at 6. This was a nice pen, though.
I got another one.
18 minutes, 10,000 gold in the lead. At 24 minutes, a 20,000 gold lead. That's how fast SoaR was able to just catapult through this game. What an incredible showing. All started at first blood.
Was this Incon dying, I think, to Baskin's rotation? Yeah. Look, Baskin's just like, all right, Matty's in solo. I'm just going to sneak around. I've got a 3-level lead. And you're dead.
Yeah, just smoked.
And
there's the ultimate
Incon. At that point, he actually didn't have any items. He had tier 1 of Book of Thoth, and he also had Soulstone. So Incon not even going potions early game, and he hadn't backed yet by level 7. So
yeah, a little bit rough stuff for the Kukulkan, but this time around on the other side, it's actually the man who got his name from Kukulkan. Hurriwind comes out, and he was fantastic on the ISIS.
I don't think he got his name from Kukulkan.
I used to play a lot of Kukulkan, and I'm going to go with that.
He did. But this is really good positioning from Hurriwind. He drops the ult just trying to finish off the last player, and then he just turns his attention. He's just constantly looking around the team fight. Who can he stun? Who can he silence? Who should he focus on? And that's exactly what he's going to do. Homiefe going to find 2 kills in this, and this is just him running around in a circle, finding the targets and hitting them.
You know, everybody on the squad was able to really turn up. Like you said, you corrected me very, very correctly. Game number 1 was all Baskin. This was SoaR team. This was SoaR as
everyone
a
showed
unit.
up. Metyankey probably making some of the hot. I'm not gonna say best plays. Metyankey made the hot plays. He was like, "Yo, I'm going Zapman today."
I mean,
I think we're gonna have to start calling that the Metyankey.
I mean, we can certainly call it diving into 4 members the Metyankey.
Hey man, but
he passed it on to his mid laner as well.
But he got out ahead. Zapman would have died there.
Maybe. Certainly not maybe, but definitely Homiefe, huge part of the jungle. Let's take a look at what Kali was able to do.
This was just Kali able to free farm early. Kukulkan, very hard to put out pressure on him. Honestly, the tornado doesn't do a lot of damage, and so Homiefe was kind of able to survive out of that early game, and then he just became this a Kali who had a level or 2 lead, which is typically not something you see, right? Kali doesn't come online until about 3 items, and then just rampaging through players one by one, right? It never seemed to be like a team fight, right? It was just him taking out a player 1v1 and not really having to worry about too much of the peel.
Yeah, I mean, Homiefe, that's what Kali does. If you let her build those items, she's just going to do that every single time.
She's one of she's debatably the best late game god in the game.
I mean, it's certainly up there.
Top 5. There's no way you could say.
All right, I want to talk about Metyankey. Okay, can we look at Metyankey?
Top 5.
Metyankey. I'm just going to sit back and watch. This guy was out of control. Coming out of the Apollo, very, very well done. Him and his other Long Island counterpart on SoaR did a very good job. And look at this. Him and Baskin. This is all him, though, right here against Incon. Popping the potions just to continue on in the fight.
Okay, no. Yeah, he just comes back home. He's dead, and he turns the attention. This is just a setup kill. He actually doesn't even. This is what I love from Metyankey is a lot of players would pop he waits for the immunity and then he pops them as the second the spirit ball's about to connect, he gets the auto off. Oceans moves, a frame, but he doesn't have enough time to move, and then once again just diving the back line.
Doesn't miss the ult. Positions the ult, so the only exit for Incon is a bad choice. Incon forced to walk into the rest of SoaR. Excellent job. And here's Metyankey. This is what we were able to see. Look, man, I'm just not hitting my autos. Oceans, you're really good at dodging. Can't dodge that.
He actually was really good at dodging.
I mean, no, exactly. That's more Incon. That's more Oceans than Metyankey missing. And so we just, all right, so beautiful.
And then I feel like all his kills were just like all off of ults.
And
pretty
again,
sure they were. He just like lands down. And it's like a guaranteed kill. Just combines with this team.
And look at what it does, right? Ult comes down, forces the Xbalanque dash out, and what does Kali not want to deal with? Dashes, movement abilities. Kali's able to jump in, and well, Rising Jaguars already down. 2 games dropped from Allegiance. More power to SoaR, and that's going to put them number 2. 10 wins for 1, 9 wins for 2, 8 wins for 3. Enemy, SoaR, and Eager are your top 3 teams in North America.
SoaR taking a little bit longer to get online because they did have kind of the fewer games, but now that they've gotten the ball rolling, taking a couple 2-0s, looking real good. We still have games for the SPL as well as today. Xbox qualifiers coming up next, but Monday, Night Smite Fnatic taking on Torpedo to open off the evening.
Luminosity going to go head-to-head against the Randozos as well. So we'll take a look, a little bit of Europe, a little bit of North America, but coming back to this matchup specifically, looking at the standings again, Enemy, SoaR, Eager. I think those could be your DreamHack teams.
Very possible.
Which is crazy.
Right, it's like SoaR dominated, I would say, Allegiance.
Yes.
Right, like Luminosity, not so much. I mean, game 1 was pretty one-sided. I would say it was about the same as the SoaR, but I mean, Allegiance able to sneak a game off of them. A lot of that is because of, the soul laners, right?
Yeah.
Baskin, Snoopy, completely different, right? Mattypocket can control Snoopy, sometimes getting the better of him, but he can't do that against Baskin.
So I don't necessarily believe in the transitive property, but I actually want to get your thoughts on this. So Allegiance, right? They're able to beat Luminosity, but they're not able to beat SoaR. Does that mean that SoaR is by default a better team than Lumi?
I don't think by default, but I do think they're probably a little bit better. Not saying by a large margin, but I think SoaR right now, firing on all cylinders, all the players playing at a very high level, and they seem like a cohesive unit for the most part. Honestly, the couple of games I've seen SoaR drop, I feel like, I don't know if this is true or not, but it just seems like it's cocky. Okay. Where they kind of flounder against teams they think they're going to walk over a little bit. It doesn't look as clean as it does against other matches. And I thought this might have been a trap game for them as well, where I think they might have underestimated Allegiance, but I think they gave them a lot of respect and just kind of took it to them like nonstop.
I mean, Allegiance have certainly demanded that respect as they take a game off of Luminosity today, unable to find those same wins over SoaR. And SoaR will find themselves number 2 overall on the North American standings. That does it for us here for the SPL, but we'll continue on with the SCL qualifiers. Eager, not here. So will Weekend and Chapa wind up number 1? That's what we're here to find out. Finals of coming up for the Xbox. Let's take a look, and we'll see you soon.